Hi everyone, welcome back. Okay, based on what you watch online, algorithm, either Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, generally based on your interest online is what algorithms pushes to you. So I think sometime last week or 2 weeks ago, last week, it's like almost 2 weeks now, I was on TikTok and there was this trendy video with a lot of hashtags. Initially, I didn't understand. I thought it was just a challenge as usual. Later, I now saw it was something that was against a particular cosmetic brand, in Nigerian cosmetic brand. It was really a scandal, honestly, and the cosmetic brand is called Jenny's Glue. It was a huge scandal where a customer purchased the product, reviewed it, and the review was not given, like meaning the review was more of a negative review, and she was warning people to desist from the product, blah 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 blah, and all of that. Okay. um for me, as a cosmetic formulator, because I am a cosmetic formulator myself, if I have those kind of reviews, like I even request for reviews from my customers, because to be honest with you, critic to some extent has brought me to the point where I am today. Yes, because I keep saying it that I cannot use all my products. Do you understand? So therefore I should be able to get the efficacy of this product from reviews. But meanwhile, the efficacy of the product is something I already have at the back of my mind. This is it. For instance, I pick a product that has 1% retinol. Like this is one of my products that has 1% retinol in it. Now I know basically that this product is going to help to stimulate the production of collagen. It's going to also help with quick cell turnover. It has the efficacy that I would gladly say it could help to reduce fine line and wrinkles. You know what vitamin A in general, vitamin A derivatives in general can do. Do you get? This is a retinol, is one of the derivatives of vitamin A. Now, I know this thing based on the fact that I'm a cosmetic formulator myself. But will I say I'm doing organic? Partially yes, partially no. But mind you, vitamin A on its own is not organic. Don't get confused, I'm still going on here. But basically, what is it? It is chemistry. You know, the thing about people claiming that they do organic is the fact that the irony of the whole thing is that organic is even something clean, like really really clean when you talk of the plant aspect of organic. Yes, because let's say we have organic in two sections, even though one transitions to the other, meaning that it starts from plants and animals. And when you talk of organic in plants, it means these are plants that were nurtured from the onset, that is from the putting it on the ground, right, sowing the seed, to the nurturing, to the harvesting. There is no synthetic chemical that was added into it, meaning there was no foreign fertilizer, all this NPK, then nitrogen fertilizer. No, there is none of that. Do you understand? Because organic on its own is actually even focused on carbons. Yes, carbons, because when you get an ingredient or a product that does not contain carbons, it's not necessarily organic. It's more like inorganic. Like example is water. That's why people say products are free of chemicals. I just laugh. Like there's nothing we consume or get in touch with that does not contain chemical one way or the other. The only chemicals we run away from are the chemicals that are harmful. And that is why when it comes to this so-called organic, because these people have corrupted the space. But meanwhile, the first that was like 5 or 6 years ago, the first badge or the first knowledge about cosmetics in general that I don't know, I'll say came to Africa, or I don't know, let me just speak for myself, let me came to Nigeria, let me start away, was more of all this harsh mixture of steroids, hydroquinone. Now there's something my people see in the north. They said meaning this is it, there's an action and there's a reaction, meaning that when the local Maggi smells, of course it attracts the rat, and when the rat comes and eats from the local Maggi, people will complain that the rat is a thief. When you're the one that was setting something more of a clickbait for it, or more of a and he came at it and you're not calling him a thief. So basically what I'm trying to say here is this: this so-called organic formulators, cosmetic formulators, they focus more on skin bleaching products. Let me don't even fine tune it. Like they will even tell you When the whole scar saga, of course, I was forced to go and check out the so-called Jenny's Glow page, and I saw there was this part that she was saying something like, there was this video, she was saying something like, use this small something like that so it doesn't bleach you too much. Like, but basically what I'm trying to say here is that I wouldn't blame her 100% for putting out something like that. Besides, it's her market, it's her business. I won't come and spoil her business. But what I'm trying to say is that she is catering for her audience. What Jenny's Glow is doing is not far from, she's just a business person. Like, she's catering for the audience. I've had such clients and I tell them outrightly, I don't do those things. I even have a video here on YouTube where I said, uncles and aunties that are doing pro mixing, you and I are not doing the same thing. We're doing I'm doing cosmetic formulation. Do you understand? Like, some of them ask me, do you do organic? Yes, I do organic, but when I say yes, I'm abusing it, because right now the word organic has been abused. Even the word natural has now been abused. In the past, like all those things, you kind of relate to something that is clean. Now, the word natural, I would say, is giving birth to from organic. Now, why I say it's giving birth to from organic is the fact that natural is a branch of organic when it comes to plants and animals. But now the difference is that natural involves synthetic chemicals. For instance, you're planting corn, and from the onset of that corn, you didn't add any fertilizer, any of those nitrogen, phosphorus, and it grooms. You groom it that way, now that is organic. But when you add any of those fertilizers, we put it more under the category of natural. But it's so unfortunate that even the natural now, they have abused it. And the reason why we focus more on natural is because that we buy some of these raw materials. For instance, I buy sunflower oil. Now, I don't know how the sunflower oil was planted. I don't know if it was sunflower oil that was actually planted organically or it was natural, if I make sense. It could be written on the container that is organic. Okay, then maybe I'll be tempted to believe. Or from the pricing, because things that are organic are very, very expensive. Like here in Nigeria, we have something like, we address the local fowl and the agric fowl. Obviously, the local fowl, that one is grounded. We already know that it's a local fowl and does not consume chemical. But when you talk of the agri-fowl, obviously those ones, they consume hybrid food which contains some synthetic chemicals that makes these agri-fowls bigger. Do you understand? Hybrid, of course, when you boost something. And just like I said earlier, chemicals, not all chemicals are necessarily bad. Are we clear? And to be honest with you, when cosmetic came in, like I was saying earlier, it started with that mix of steroid. Okay, and a lot of us absorbed that thing. Honestly, even myself inclusive, I'm not going to count myself. And we all digested all those things. But over time, we now realize that those things were a no. And of course, as human beings, change is constant. So what did we do? Like those that knew what was wrong or right? Because definitely your own instinct will tell you that this thing is not correct. And besides, you see how your clients are complaining, having a lot of issues like that. And then it's involving a lot of skin bleaching, which we are strongly against. And then you get to know that, okay, there's something wrong with this thing. And then as God will have it, the real thing came on board almost immediately. But unfortunately, because a lot of people were making money out of the other one that was messed up, they still stuck to it. You get, like, the cosmetic formulation, the proper cosmetic formulation on board, it's dealing with key organic compounds. And honestly speaking, if you're into proper cosmetic formulations, these are your key area of concentration. Let's say 100%. Of course, 100% we feel is a complete deal, right? We're talking of 70% chemistry, and you're learning both organic and inorganic chemistry. And in organic chemistry, you're dealing more with carbons, yes, and then maybe some mostly additives. Let me even say maybe, yeah, we come with additives as well, but additives is more of an engineering term. When we come to the cosmetic term, we tend to refer to those additives as actives, because there was the guy I was telling you I was following, I was on TikTok, that I think his name is Very Dark Man or something like that. Yes, he had a live stream that which he posted on TikTok and I watched. Now they were talking about additives, something like now that is based on engineering terms, which I'm not saying is not relatable in cosmetic science, but in cosmetic science we focus on more of active, which it makes sense, you understand? Yeah. So we now have to focus on 10% of physics. Now 10% of physics in cosmetic science has to do with non-Newtonian laws and thermodynamics. Yes, And then you talk of geography. Now, geography, you talk of weather, obviously. Yeah. During summer, what are the products you should go for? During winter, what are the products you should go for? During spring, so geography plays a major. And then you are in a geographical location where the weather is really, really hot, the weather is cold, the weather is just average, something like that. So your cosmetic, some of you might be surprised. So your cosmetic formulation could also move around that area based on viscosity and rheology of your product and what you're supposed to use. Do you understand? But basically, I'll still come back to tell you that cosmetic formulation, real original cosmetic formulation, or not the organic, abused organic, honestly focuses more interest in inorganic chemistry. If you have a background in chemistry, you realize that there's something called the periodic table. It has to do with a lot of compounds, different kind of compounds with different elements in them. That's, by the way, that one is a story for another day. Then we have to also do with biology. We're talking of anatomy. When you meet someone in their teenage years, they are battling with acne, puberty, what is that thing that you should look out for? Or when you see a teenager, you get to recognize what this teenager is battling with at that age, coming down to maybe middle-aged women from 30 to 50. Now, those kind of women battle with acne rosacea. Why is that? Do you understand? And then I've seen some people also using all of these so-called organic products, and it kind of stimulates the acne rosacea, like some big pimples that look like butt. It stimulates it and it makes it worse. Already something that is there, but because you're using products with additives, or rather actives, that are too harsh for the skin, it kind of brings out what is not meant to be. Like, let me digress a little bit and give you an example. For instance, you meet a lactating mother. Now she's lactating because she completed the cycle of pregnancy and eventually had a child. And then you meet a woman, a female, a biological female, because these days, a biological female that is not lactating, has not been pregnant, blah, blah, blah. But do you know that you can stimulate lactating in that female that didn't even pass through the stage of pregnancy? Yes, you can actually stimulate it, and all of a sudden she begins to produce milk. Yes. Now that is what happens to those people that use those so-called organic, that mess them with some kind of big rosacea. Now already you are either approaching the age of getting that rosacea, or you're already at that age, maybe 30 and above, and then you use those kind of hash. They will now stimulate it, like make it like 10 times what it's supposed to be or what it's not supposed to be. So basically it just works around that area. And then we have mathematics. Now the reason is that these cosmetic formulas have, as I told you, we use ingredients, additives, actives, in general, or mostly inorganic compounds, even though slightly of organic compound. Because when I talk of slightly of organic compound, let me give a quick example. Like I have, this is my retinol, vitamin A at 1%. Now this is my ingredient list. We have water, which of course water is an inorganic compound. Then we have xanthan gum. Xanthan gum is an inorganic compound. Then we have glycerine. Then we have sunflower oil. Then we have emulsifying wax. We have retinol. We have phenoxyethanol. We have vitamin E. Now, phenoxyethanol is an organic compound because it's an alcohol. It's a preserving alcohol. Yes. So basically, coming down to another product of mine, this is my facial toner. This one has water, it has rose water, which of course water is an inorganic compound. It has licorice extract, it has panthenol, that's a vitamin on its own, it has glycerine, it has phenoxyethanol, it has disodium EDTA. Now disodium EDTA comes in as a chelator. It's a salt. Yes, it's a disodium salt that comes in as a chelator. Now, what does a chelator do in a cosmetic formula? Now, it kills some kind of unwanted minerals that are in the water. You understand? So it kind of boosts the effectiveness of even your preservative in a formula. For instance, I'm making a foaming product because we use disodium mostly in even formulations that involve surfactant, and even we can also use them in products that also involves water. Now, the reason why we use them more, it's compulsory. It can even be optional in products like your facial toner, but then at the end of the day, you want to make your water really, really clear so that it doesn't trigger reaction on your client, because there are some people that when they use hard water, they have itchy skin. Yeah, their skin begins to itch them, they begin to rash. Yeah, when they use hard water, like all this salt, so like I've had clients that are in Lagos because they are over there, they have this salty water, so some of them react to it. You get, so that is the reason why we tend to advise the use of disodium EDTA in most water-based products, because even when we say we're using distilled water, now it depends. If the distilled water is not coming from another region entirely, it's coming from that region within, there's possibility that that distilled water was gotten from the water that is in that region. I don't know if it makes sense. You understand what I'm trying to say? Because like the distilled water I use, I get it from the teaching hospital. Sure, you understand? And I don't know the source because I have not seen made in wherever. I just, you get it. There's no where this thing is coming from, but it's distilled water. But just to be double sure, you understand? And me, I'm the meticulous type. Like I'm very, very meticulous like that. So I just prefer to add disodium EDTA so that it can kill off some minerals that could easily tamper with some other ingredients that will not, you know, like I said, surfactants earlier. If these minerals come in contact with some of these surfactants, they might reduce their surfactant properties. That is like their foaming, their surfactant property in general. So basically that's why we use disodium EDTA. So I wouldn't say we're doing organic, I wouldn't say we're not doing organic. But what I'm trying to say is that those people that are mainly focused in organic are those will I say the main originators of the products that we use, like the ingredient, the raw materials that we use. Are we also doing organic? Yes, we're also doing organic, but unfortunately organic has been abused. But even in cosmetic, organic is little, it's not that much, it's there quite okay, but majority of what we use is inorganic. I'm not saying organic is not there. Like example again of another ingredient that we call is also an organic compound is your azelaic acid. Is a very good ingredient that helps with the treatment of acne rosacea. You understand? It's also a good tyrosine inhibitor. Like what I'm trying to say, I mean, to cut the long story short, is this: we also have language, English. Let's say 5% English language interpretation and understanding. Like what I'm saying now, I'm using language. So I use English because I'm in an English spoken country. But if you're in another country that speaks maybe Chinese, India, or any other Croatia, another country, now your language is on that focus that you need to understand what you're working with. So what am I trying to say? I don't want this video to be too long. Is the fact that organic unfortunately has been abused, because when you ask these so-called people that do this organic, I don't know their versatility in chemistry, but can they pick up a product in the market? Like 2 days ago I was at Market Square, I picked up this is it Gavia or something, SPF, and I picked it up and I saw the ingredient. Now I noticed it's more of a chemical SPF. What I mean is that I saw that in the, you know, when you're looking at ingredients, the first 3 at least 4 ingredients are the majority in that formula. Now when I picked it, I think I recognized methyl dicinamate. You understand? Octyl methyl dicinamate, which is a chemical exfoliant that does not have so many research, but then it is mostly used to protect the skin from UVB rays. Do you understand? And then I saw on the ingredient list there was a little bit of zinc oxide. There was also at the bottom, that's even the last ingredient, it tells you that it just comes in there very little, and that's why it doesn't have that white cast. Very, very little is your titanium dioxide. Now how many of these so-called organic people understand this concept? Picking a product in the supermarket and going through the ingredient list, I understand this product 100%. Now most of you don't even understand, and that's why they will go and chatter all those their creams, lotion, blah 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 blah, and then just put it, and you don't know if there are some ingredients that might not agree with each other, and you're putting them all together because you're making a body cream or a body lotion that is meant to be used maybe twice a day at least, maximum, and minimum maybe once a day, at least daily. And then you're putting an ingredient like, let's say, glycolic acid or lactic acid, especially for use for a skin of color. Now you're technically telling this person to exfoliate every day. On top again, you might still be giving them a scrub that will now, like, oh more, like, see, I don't know if you want a part 2 of this video, just let me know in the comment section and I'll come with further explanation, because my mouth talk full and mobile. I'm just trying to compress. I don't want this video to be too long. Meanwhile, thank you so much for listening to this for the first time. My name is Asma Zakari. Do well to subscribe, and thank you for watching this video to the end. Thank you and thank you and thank you. Bye.